it would be interesting to get your thoughts about mimetic theory, where we're imitating each other in the context of this idea of uniqueness. How much truth is there to that? How compelling is this worldview to you of Girardian mimetic theory of desire, where maybe you can explain it from your perspective, but it seems like imitating each other is the fundamental property of the behavior of human civilization?
Well, imitation is not unique to humans, right? Monkeys imitate. So a certain amount of learning through observing is not unique to humans. Humans do more of it. It's actually kind of worth speaking to this for a moment. Monkeys can learn new behaviors. We've even seen teaching an ape sign language and then the ape teaching other apes sign language. So that's a kind of mimesis, right? Kind of learning through imitation. And that needs to happen if they need to learn or develop capacities that are not just coded by their genetics, right? So within the same genome, they're learning new things based on the environment. And so based on someone else learned something first, and so let's pick it up. How much a creature is the result of just its genetic programming and how much it's learning is a very interesting question. And I think this is a place where humans really show up radically different than everything else. And you can see it in the neoteny, how long we're basically fetal. The closest ancestors to us, if we look at a chimp can hold on to its mother's fur while she moves around day one. And obviously we see horses up and walking within 20 minutes. The fact that it takes a human a year to be walking and it takes a horse 20 minutes and you say how many multiples of 20 minutes go into a year, like that's a long period of helplessness that it wouldn't work for a horse, right? Like or anything else. And not only could we not hold on to mom in the first day, it's 3 months before we can move our head volitionally. So it's like, why are we embryonic for so long? Basically, it's like it's still fetal on the outside. Had to be because couldn't keep growing inside and actually ever get out with big heads and narrower hips from going upright. So here's a place where there's a coevolution of the pattern of humans. Specifically here are our neoteny and what that portends to learning with our being tool-making and environment-modifying creatures, which is because we have the abstraction to make tools, we change our environments more than other creatures change their environments. The next most environment-modifying creature to us is like a beaver. And then we're in LA. You fly into LAX and you look at the just orthogonal grid going on forever in all directions. And, we've recently come into the Anthropocene where the surface of the earth is changing more from human activity than geological activity. And then beavers. And you're like, okay, wow, we're really in a class of our own in terms of environment modifying.
Yeah.
So as soon as we started tool making, we were able to change our environments much more radically. We could put on clothes and go to a cold place, right? And this is really important because we actually went and became apex predators in every environment. We functioned like apex predators. The polar bear can't leave the Arctic, right? And the lion can't leave the savanna, and an orca can't leave the ocean. And we went and became apex predators in all those environments because of our tool creation capacity. We could become better predators than them, adapted to the environment, or at least with our tools adapted to the environment.
So in every aspect towards any organism, in any environment, we're incredibly good at becoming apex predators.
Yes. And nothing else can do that kind of thing. There is no other apex predator that... But see, the other apex predator is only getting better at being a predator through evolutionary process that's super slow. And that super slow process creates co-selective process with their environment. So as the predator becomes a tiny bit faster, it eats more of the slow prey, the genes of the fast prey inbreed, and the prey becomes faster. And so there's this kind of balancing. And because of our tool making, we increased our predatory capacity faster than anything else could increase its resilience to it. As a result, we started outstripping the environment and extincting species following stone tools and going and becoming apex predator everywhere. This is why we can't keep applying apex predator theories, because we're not an apex predator. We're an apex predator, but we're something much more than that. Like just for an example, the top apex predator in the world, an orca. An orca can eat one big fish at a time, like one tuna. and it'll miss most of the time, or one seal. And we can put a mile-long drift net out on a single boat and pull up an entire school of them, right? We can deplete the entire oceans of them. That's not an orca, right? Like, that's not an apex predator. And that's not even including that we can then genetically engineer different creatures. We can extinct species. We can devastate whole ecosystems. We can make built worlds that have no natural things, that are just human-built worlds. We can build new types of natural creatures, synthetic life. So we are much more like little gods than we are like apex predators now, but we're still behaving as apex predators. And little gods that behave as apex predators cause us a problem, kind of core to my assessment of the world.
So what does it mean to be a predator? So a predator is somebody that effectively can mine the resources from a place, so for their survival, or is it also just purely like higher level objectives of violence? And can predators be predators towards each other, towards the same species? Like, are we using the word predator sort of generally, which then connects to conflict and military conflict, violent conflict in the space of human species?
Obviously, we can say that plants are mining the resources of their environment in a particular way, using photosynthesis to be able to pull minerals out of the soil and nitrogen and carbon out of the air and like that. And we can say herbivores are being able to mine and concentrate that. So I wouldn't say mining the environment is unique to predator. Predator is, generally being defined as mining other animals, right? We don't consider herbivores predators, but animal, which requires some type of violence capacity, because animals move, plants don't move. So it requires some capacity to overtake something that can move and try to get away.